Good day everyone, I am Ina Aguilar and this is UPTV Online Profiles Student Edition, where we get to know more about the outstanding students from the University of the Philippines. Join us as we discover more about a young student leader from UP Los Baños. To learn more about our guest, let's watch this. Von has been a leader since he was a young boy. He ranked first as an SK councilor in Barangay Sembo, Makati City in the 2010 elections. He was also the child city mayor of Makati in 2010. Von not only excels as a leader but also as a student. He was one of the 10 outstanding students of Makati and a national finalist in the 10 outstanding public school students of the Philippines in 2010. Furthermore, he is a student with an advocacy. Von is an advocate of the Coalition for Students' Rights and Welfare, or STRAW Coalition. A young leader, a dedicated student, a true scholar ng bayan. Von, Carlo, Yacob. And here with us today is Von, Carlo, Yacob. Hi Von, welcome to the show. So let's begin our conversation with some of your many leadership positions. So you are the current president of the Student Crime Prevention Committee, NCR, right?
Yes, SCPC NCR.
Oh yeah. And in the past year, there has been a number of crimes from UP Los Baños which has made the news. So as someone from an active organization against crime, how do these incidents affect your stand as the president of the organization?
Of course, as the president of the Student Crime Prevention Committee, even though we are only covering the National Capital Region, we're still calling for a stronger campus security. Kasi we as students of, especially University of the Philippines, Los Baños, we value our security much. That's why we are calling for greater and stronger campus security.
So it's really nice that you're putting yourself out there for the benefit of the others. So as a Boy Scout naman, you've gone through the ranks of being a Cub Scout onwards. Then in 2010, you were elected as the National Scout Representative for Luzon and a National Executive Board member. So that was a really long journey, no? How did that journey mold you?
How did that journey mold me? When I was in high school, kasi I first joined the scouting movement. That was the first organization that I've joined, and it really shaped me as a person. I was trained in different camping activities. I was trained to be secretary, scribe. I was trained to be a parliament with those parliamentary procedure trainings, and it really molded me to become a better student leader. Kasi that was my stepping stone before I entered the student government.
So as a leader, you are an SK Kagawad of Makati, which is considered as the business capital of the country. So is there some sort of brand you carry that has something to do with being from Makati?
Some brand? I really think I don't know actually. But yeah, you know, being an SK Kagawad in the financial capital of the Philippines, it's really hard, no? Kasi you have to manage certain amounts, for example, in our SK, in our budget. But speaking of, you know, having a brand as an SK, not actually sure if we really have.
So you've always been very vocal about your dream of one day becoming the mayor of Makati. And in 2010, you were given that chance to become Makati City Child Mayor. How did that experience affect your future plans?
Yeah, since I was a kid, I was really dreaming before na I'll become, you know, probably the youngest mayor of Makati. And that experience really was a learning experience na it's really hard to become the mayor of the city. So being the child mayor of Makati was really a great opportunity for me. So I was really hoping na I would do more for example, here in college or at present, and you know, do my very best in achieving my dreams.
Okay, that's great. No, so we've learned about Von as a leader. Now, when we come back, we're going to know more about him as a person. Stay with us. Welcome back to UPTV Online Profile Student Edition. We're still with the current president of the Student Crime Prevention Committee NCR and one of the 2010 outstanding students of Makati, Carlo Yacob.
Hi.
So your role as a leader is Mahatma Gandhi, who is known for the passive nature of his protests, like the non-cooperation movement. So does his leadership, how does your leadership reflect Gandhi's methods?
Of course, I've been really looking forward for Gandhi's achievements. Kasi before, his quote, his famous quote, really affected me as as a leader. Kasi his quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Yeah, I've been really living that quote for life. So that really changed me a lot. Kasi it's really meaningful for me.
So clearly, Gandhi has made greatly influenced you as a leader. Now, how has he influenced you as a person?
As a person, of course, on that quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world," it clearly states that if you really want to see change, for example, in our society, you'll start with yourself. So you should discipline yourself well. You should, for example, do things that will help our country in your own little ways. So with that quote, I was really, astounded with everything and made me as a person now.
And that's what you're doing right now, diba?
Yeah.
And with all these leadership roles and experiences, you have been exposed to many issues in the community. How has all these affected your view on the role of the youth?
Yeah, on my view on the role of the youth.
Yeah.
So before I was exposed into what we call the outside world. For example, the battlefield, the real society, the real image of the society. And with that, I can clearly say that the youth has really a big role in changing our society. That the youth, for example, in our country, in the case of our country, half of the million of voters in our country are from our generation. So our generation will dictate who will lead this country. So we really have a major role, a major participation and contribution in creating a better country.
So, Von, you are very visible as a leader. There's a crime watcher, Von, there's a Boy Scout, Von, and a possible future mayor, Von.
Yeah.
But aside from all these leadership roles, how do you see yourself as a person?
How do I see myself as a person? Just normal. I'm a perky type of individual, I just love being with others. I just love talking to random strangers. How do I see myself? I love, helping other people if I can do my very best to help them. And of course, my number one priority now is to pursue my studies. Yeah, finish first my studies. And as a person, I see myself as somewhat country's hope, probably. Yeah.
So with all these leadership roles, what do you think is the biggest decision you ever made?
The biggest decision that I've ever made is to pursue giving service to others. I think that's the biggest kasi I'm really into it. That became already a passion for me. So I can't hardly say no to other people whenever they need me.
And on that note, thank you so much, Von, for being on our show.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so open
you,
and for sharing your experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Be the change you want to see in the world. These are the wise words of Mahatma Gandhi that Von tries to enliven. Through Von's experience, we can say that young people can really make a difference. The way of leadership is not an easy route, but when we love what we are doing, then leadership becomes more a labor of love than a burden. I am Ina Aguilar, and this is UPTV Online Profiles Student Edition.